ahead. So first of all, I would love to welcome you again on one of our seminars. This seminar is going to be focused on specifically building and maintaining relationship, and I mean professional relationship in the creative industries. And before we start, I just would love to quickly mention that that all of these seminars are supported by Visegrad Fund. And I would love to as well mention to you, especially the creatives who want to participate maybe in residencies or want to work on different exhibitions or collaborate on international projects. Definitely check Visegrad because they're offering various opportunities to creatives to scale their career. So definitely have a look at them. If you need certain help or support in order to scale your career, or basically just help with the application, I definitely would suggest you to book one of those consultancies we're offering, even though you feel that or you might be concerned that there is language barrier or something. We're always able to figure out, and we can help you out with one of these applications or just discuss the opportunities. However, right now, I would love to jump directly to the topic of today's seminar, and that one is about building and maintaining professional networks. And we're going to talk about why these relationships matter actually in the art world, why it's very important to cultivate connections and build relationships in the art world. So, building relationships is mainly about finding opportunities for you as a creative. It can be to collaborate with someone, it can be to showcase your creativity, your art, your performance, whatever kind of creative outcome you're doing, or actually finding potential clients for what you're doing. In general, it can offer you definitely valuable insights and as well feedback to grow your artistic practice. And it can definitely strengthen reputation and help with the visibility in the art industry. In terms of getting insights and feedback, in general in the art industry, especially when you're a beginner in the creative industry, it's really good to have someone, certain mentor who can help you out, who can introduce you to various people, introduce you to various organizations, slash can provide you with the feedback on what you're doing. And I don't mean that you should just blindly follow the person, because if you do that, that might lead to direction or push you to the direction where you don't feel comfortable. However, if you are able to work with such kind of person, with such kind of mentor, and you're at the same time able to have this critical understanding or critical perspective about the situation, then that can go a long way. The same thing is that if you're able to work with different people in the art industry, it can really help with your reputation, sharing just word about you. In general, in creative industry, word of mouth is the strongest recommendation you can have. And one of the ways how you're gonna gain it is by building relationships. In the art industry, there are different kind of relationships you can build, but of course it's with fellow creatives. It can be artists, it can be dancers, whatever industry you are in, but basically just fellow creatives who can support you in collaborations, sharing resources, peer support. During the seminars before, I already did mention that creative industries, it might seem as a very competitive place, and I'm not going to undervalue this kind of opinion or perspective. Yes, creative industries are competitive. However, without collaborations, you're not able to build your career, you're not able to build your reputation, to build projects. So in that case, I really suggest you to find like-minded creatives who share similar vision or similar values to help you to basically build on your ideas, values, goals. Another one are galleries and curators. However, this group is more focused for painters or visual artists. However, in general, I would say that any professionals, and I mean active professionals within the field, who are actively participating in different activities. I mean, it can be different producers, right? It can be fellow actors. It can be some agencies. It can be different kind of entities, right? It's not only category for galleries and curators, right? It's like a little bit broader. But basically, those that's the category of people who can actually make decision about the bigger collaborations, about the bigger projects. So that's another category you should really look out for. The third category, which is probably one of the most important ones, are your buyers or people who are receiving your service. So some kind of clients. These people, of course, are able to offer the financial support, long-term patronage, just purchasing whatever you are able to offer to the market. And the last category, which is as well very important, are the industry professionals. That means mentors, critics, professors, educators, change makers within the specific industry. All these people are very crucial for your career. So whether you are introvert or you're extrovert, at some point you're going to be pushed to communicate with such kind of people. And it's actually a great thing. And from my personal experience, I can promise you, you're able to come from more introverted background and become more extroverted. And it's not that complicated. If I should give you maybe 2 pieces of advice, make sure that you know your elevator pitch well. And this is something what we discussed already before. I believe that 3 seminars ago, there was as well the exercise where you were supposed to create your elevator pitch. And these kind of things are very crucial because when you meet someone, you are supposed to let them know within 15 to 30 seconds what you're doing, who you are, and making it engaging for them in a way that they want to continue talking to you. It's not about telling them your whole bibliography, your whole CV, with your cover letter, and basically telling them about all the artworks, techniques you ever did. No, it's not about that. The elevator pitch is supposed to be about making people more interested in you in order that they can ask you or they want to ask you more questions. They become interested in you. So that's one thing you should definitely know. And second thing, what you should think about or know or write down, whatever you prefer, are questions which are relevant for your industry and questions which can help you to either broaden your knowledge or broaden your network within the specific industry. And you don't have to come up with these questions, new questions, every single time before an event or I don't know, you don't have to really think about it that much. I mean, if you create this list of questions one time and they are really specific towards the industry, towards the people you are about to talk to, you want to talk to, and you want to focus on and build relationships with, you can just repeat these questions all over again. And this still can keep the conversation going with the person. I had a few amazing conversations with people who I was asking the same questions all over again. And I get to know different perspective from different people based on the position they were in the industry and based on how long they were in the industry. So I'm not suggesting you to talk or to waste your time with people who are not relevant for you. No, I mean, talk, make sure that when you go out there, that you talk to people who might really bring you value, and set for yourself even very simple goals. It can be that you want to go to a specific event and get to know three new people. That can be more than enough. I understand that it might be very, very concerning for some people, very stressful to just go to a new event and just randomly start talking to people. I can guarantee you that there will be more people who feel that way. I can guarantee you that there will be more people who will be there alone and who will want to engage in the conversations. So don't really overthink it, but set some specific goal for yourself when you're trying to go and build relationships, because that is going to push you to talk to those people. And then in the end, you might just end up having fun. You might end up having really fulfilling, great conversations with other people. Such kind of events where you can get to know amazing people can be, for example, some openings of shows, opening of exhibitions, of different fairs. It can be maybe even some talks. It can be conferences, different ones, or it can be workshops where people are coming and they specifically, there's very, if you're participating in a workshop, there's very high probability that people who are coming to that workshop have something in common with you, have certain reason why they're there. They have certain goal in order to learn more within that specific field. So that can be really amazing place where you can get to know fellow potential collaborators, or even residencies. In residencies, you can meet fellow creatives, but at the same time, you might have opportunity to get to know professionals or just get to know some mentors. So when you're in the creative industry, it's very important for you to as well think strategically as a creative. So where can I find the people who I am looking for? And you need to be very, very, very critical about this kind of events. I mean that religion events where you are sure that you're able to meet new people, where you're able to really get some knowledge or get some connections from those events. It might be even different local communities, especially when you are living in a bigger city. I mean, maybe capital city, or I don't know, top 5 big cities in your country. There's very high probability that there are certain art communities which are meeting maybe on a regular basis, maybe a few times a year. But basically over there, you might be able to find someone very interesting. I personally had very positive experience in the beginning of my art career. I was very, very young. I would say I was very small back then when I started my art career. And I met a person who became my mentor for many, many years. And that person was my mentor, I think, for over 7 years. And while being under his guidance, I was able to learn how to work with in a studio. I was able to learn how to work with different lighting. I was able to learn how to work with different settings. I was able to learn how to prepare cover letter, portfolio, how to participate in different exhibitions. And those things, if I wouldn't meet this, if I would have not met this person, then I would not be able to know all those things in such a short time. So the local art communities can be a great way where to start. And once I would say I outgrew where I was or the place where I was able to find another mentor who had longer experiences, more experiences, worldwide experiences. And then I was for certain years under his guidance again. And that gave me completely different perspective about art industry and the way how I'm perceiving art industry today. And I can tell you that especially people who have a lot of experience and are um, humble because they have so much knowledge that they understand that things are not only black and white, that they're like very colorful. Those are people who usually are very much willing to help younger generations to grow, and they actually want to invest into younger generations. So definitely, I would suggest you to try just joining some art communities and you see where it goes. You might find someone immediately, you might not find anyone in your community, but it definitely is worthwhile to give it a try. As I mentioned before, having elevator pitch, a little bit about you, a little bit about your work is key to get people interested in you, why you're there. If you give them your business card, it can be like very simple thing, but try to be creative with business cards so they have it and they remember you and they can reach out to you. And I can promise you that that if you don't make this silly thing, but if you don't make your business card stand out, people are going to forget about it 1000%. They might not forget about you, but they might forget your name. So make sure that even your business card is very, very unique. One of the most unique business cards which I ever got was basically handmade on wood, one by one, by the person. I don't know how long this person was working on his business cards, but it definitely is still in my mind. I still remember his name. And and just you just need to make a small impression with this kind of small things. Another great example was a business card which was black and which had very dark gray text. And it was very tough to read it unless you really put it under the light. Okay, from user perspective, probably a lot of graphic designers would tell you that please don't do it. People will not understand it. To me, it seemed very interesting when I got that business card. It made me curious, and I still remember this business card even after 10 years. So just try to be really creative. I have to be very honest. Last time I printed my business cards was back in 2017. I still have a lot of business cards because my strategy is getting business cards from other people. I usually get the business card. I connect with them usually on LinkedIn. I send them a short message. Thank you so much for the nice conversation. I just send a message a little bit about what we talk about. I send them as well. I mentioned in the message where we met. So they probably know where we met, right? Like if I approach them after a few days, they definitely know. However, if you don't talk to someone for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years, and you keep meeting a lot of people, you just will forget where you met them. You forget what kind of conversations you had. However, if you keep it, if you use this kind of very useful, very sweet, positive, but as well a little bit nasty trick, then you're able to just look back after a few years and you're able to utilize that message very, very well. Of course, except connecting with them on LinkedIn, how I personally love to connect with people. You can connect with different people through different social media, right? Some of them really prefer Instagram, some of them prefer Facebook, some of them prefer different social media. but in general, it's just good to be out there. Maybe at some point you're able to create even some social media collaboration with them, or you're able to participate in different online events with them. But definitely try to make use out of the social media even nowadays. Even though we discussed that it's a bit more challenging, but it's important to have this kind of network somewhere connected. And on the other hand, I mentioned that a little bit. I believe last week when we talked about leveraging the social media, um, it's good to have somewhere backup of the contacts. I personally didn't have backups of the contacts which I had on Facebook, because my Facebook was active since 2008, and a year ago I lost my profile. I lost uh, connections with many people who I used to study with, who I used to maybe work with before. A lot of different not so relevant for this topic, but a lot of different reasons. However, of course, I'm not going to remember everyone. And so if you're able to export the context, or really you are able to just keep them somewhere in your computer, or just keeping the physical business cards, make sure that you have it, because of course the online environment is a bit tricky these days. If you want to really dive into the online environment and host some online virtual events, then it's a great thing to do it in general, especially if someone has a bigger following. However, I still would love to mention to you that the engagement online is not as high as it used to be, let's say back in 2020 until 2023, when people were still stuck at home. They were very much willing to participate in online seminars, or in online art fairs, in online workshops, a lot of different things, in live shows, videos, whatever. However, and these days it's a bit more difficult. So I'm not suggesting you to not give it a try. I would definitely give it a try, especially when you're starting in different collaborations with different people all around the world. Just starting and trying it online is a great way to go, because it just allows you to cross these boundaries, or this obstacles, and utilize the most out of it. However, just be very rational with your expectations. What we're going to do in the upcoming 2 weeks leading up to the collaboration we're going to have in the Washington, D.C., we're going to host as well a Q&A session with Andrea. So this is what Victoria Art is doing. Andrea has a little bit bigger following. We want to just give opportunity to people to ask her questions, to just get to know more about what we are going to do in Washington, D.C., what's the whole idea behind the exhibition, and why we decided to go with such a bold topic. And so that's one part. And second part is going to be hosted directly on the 30th of April. It's going to be around afternoon, evening hours for the European time, and we're going to do live stream from preparing the exhibition, and basically discussing how the curatorial work, or like how the curator works with artists, why it's important for the artist to have a curator, and a little bit more about the process, or behind the scene process. So Victoria Art, or as well other artists, are still doing this kind of things, but we understand that it's so much tougher to get attention than it was to get it back in 2020. However, definitely give it a try, especially if you're a digital artist. That's one of the best ways you can start. Of course, we already discussed different things, how to do things online, and in general how to collaborate with other artists. But I'm going to repeat a few things. Just really managing the expectations in advance, sharing your values, sharing your expectations, not only from the collaboration, but basically from your careers is very good way to start. You can always share different resources with other people, because it's, of course, like if you start communicating with someone and the person feels that you want to only maybe take from them, maybe you don't mean to, but sometimes people feel that they are giving more than they are receiving. Try to really share resources, try to share some opportunities, try to share some feedbacks. Even like a small hi, congratulations to your latest success is a good way to start. I have to be very honest, I'm not always the most active person on the social media, or keeping all the time with up to date with my network, because at the moment it grew significantly and it's just not possible to do it. However, I have certain group of people who I'm always trying to stay connected, and anyway, if I come across a collaboration, or if I come across someone who is looking for something, or someone who is doing something and wants to push it further, I personally try to do it all the time. Every single time I talk to someone and someone tells me like, hey, I'm organizing this conference about AI. I'm not in AI. However, I know other people who are in AI. I can just shoot them a quick message like, hey, I know this person who is doing that. Would this be interesting to you? And this can foster a really positive association with your name, because if you just like help someone in these small ways, I promise you they're so much more willing to help you out back with different things. And it's just, honestly, I don't think that it takes that much time, but showing this kind of initiative without being asked these days is such a significant, how to say it properly, such a significant act of kindness, an act of respect towards someone. People will definitely remember it. So I'm not telling you to do it because you just should do it or it's going to benefit you, but just showing this kind of um, small act of kindness just goes a long way. Of course, it's about maintaining consistent communication. This is something I think that we already discussed multiple times. Saying thank you after people attend your event, sending messages after meeting someone can help you as well. Just keeping your network updated with different newsletters or stories or some videos goes long way. Shows that you're still active in the field, shows that you're doing things. That really helps a lot for other people to really stay connected with your vision. And in general, if you really feel that you can build a genuine connection with someone, it's good to invest in that collaboration. And I don't mean financial investment, but I mean just investing your ideas, investing a little bit of time, trying to help that person on their journey as well. It just goes a long way, and especially in art industry. So when you're approaching, for example, galleries and curators, we had other experts talking about it, but always make sure that you research the galleries, whether they align with your style. And it's not only galleries, right? It's even for other performers who want to participate in different performances, who want to participate in different shows. Just make sure that you have something in common before you share yourself, or you share basically your CV, cover letter, your knowledge with other people. It can seem very unprofessional if you don't do your research and you're trying to sell yourself to someone. It's always great to find ways how you can engage your buyers / your clients with your work. If you're able to host some pre-openings of shows, if you're able to host private viewings, some private talks, maybe opening your studio, maybe asking them to share their ideas about next performance. This can help significantly to build stronger relationships with your potential clients and really scale your career. In art industry, in creative industries, it usually takes longer, the sales process. I mean that if you want to gain a client, it usually takes a while for the person to get to know you. It takes a while to see your artwork, to understand what you're doing, your art. But there's high chance that when they become a client and they're satisfied in collaboration with you or in your art, in your services, whatever you're doing, that they stick around or they suggest other people to work with you. So word of mouth. And therefore, having this kind of close connections with them, or just making them or making sure that they understand your vision, is very, very important, especially in this industry. In creative industries, people, and I don't mean only the creatives, but I mean as well the clients, are usually very much influenced by emotions. And selling emotions or sharing emotions, your emotions with other people, it's one of the toughest sales jobs you can have, because it's not rational. You're really just selling emotions. So based on that, it's important. It's important to really invest your time, to invest into getting to know the clients and investing into them getting to know you. That's why when you go to different art fairs, you often see the galleries having bottles of champagne or bottles of some bubbles, or I don't know, some snacks hidden somewhere, because when there's a client, they want to get to know the client. They want to have more this private moment with the client. They want to have longer conversation and build certain emotion in order to get to know the client's goal, the client's perspective, and how they can match together. It seems like a easy thing or small thing, but once you start really doing it, you understand that it's a bit more complex. And the more you're going to do it, the longer you're going to do it, the easier it will become. I promise you. And of course, we already discussed 2 weeks ago the collaboration with a fellow artist, but just make sure that there are shared goals, that they are some skills, or they have the other people have skills which you can utilize. They can utilize your skills. It should be just win-win situation. So think about all these aspects. I strongly would recommend you to really evaluate your networking platforms. Have a look at LinkedIn. Have a look, maybe you're using some other ones. Maybe you're only using Instagram. Whatever you are using to connect with other people, please make sure that it's properly that you are properly presented there. If you want to have a look at some books, I would definitely suggest you The Art of Networking. There are thousands of books about networking, about talking to other people, being more extroverted. And it's good to read them. I'm not gonna say it's not useful. In the beginning, it's definitely useful. However, as I mentioned in the beginning of this seminar, if you're going to have your elevator pitch, If you're going to have certain list of questions or certain list of topics you can discuss with other people, that goes a long way. And if you're able to find some list of events which are happening around you or around your community or in your city, I would definitely suggest you to join them. Even if you feel that some event might be small or in the beginning maybe some irrelevant event, I would still suggest you to just give it a try. Go there one time, two times. I'm not saying that go there every single time it's happening, but just try to start somewhere, try to pick brain of other people, because many times you might go to one place which might not be the best place for you, but then you get to know other people who are talking about things you didn't know that you should research, you didn't know that they existed, and you're able to really leverage their knowledge and their suggestions based on their expertise. So really try to just give it a try, and then it might work for you, might not, but it's always to do more than less. As every week, all the materials are going to be delivered to you tomorrow morning. You have a week to work on it. However, this week it's going to be a little bit different. Our team prepared for you a short guide regarding improvement specifically of your LinkedIn. I know that LinkedIn is still a bit controversial thing for artists. Some artists feel they should not be there. Some artists are already there, but maybe their profiles are not as developed as they could be. However, our team prepared a guide, step-by-step guide with certain things you should follow, with certain things you should think about, just giving you food for thought in order to really stand out on LinkedIn. As I mentioned before, I definitely suggest you to have your social media profiles in order, because it just makes you more credible. It makes you more professional, and that's what's very crucial in this industry. Right now it's going to be, of course, the time for questions. However, there are a few things that I would love to share with you. First of all, I know that some of you still did not sign up for the consultancy sessions, and therefore I would love to as well, again, mention to you that you are able to sign up to 2 consultancy sessions. If you do have any issues with the consultancy session sign up, please just email us back to our team. My colleagues are going to handle it. You can even contact us through WhatsApp if you're struggling. We already received multiple messages through WhatsApp from some creatives or some participants of Art Incubator. But if you're still struggling, just really feel free to shoot us a message. We're gonna respond to you as soon as possible. So next week we're going to have very exciting topic, which is going to talk about art markets. It's one of my most favorite topic, and it's about comparing the local markets with the global art markets. And I have to say that this is a bit more challenging topic, however, very exciting. There is a massive difference between local markets, global markets. There is massive difference between even different countries, even within Europe, sometimes even between different cities. So definitely for you as a creative, it's very important to get to know a little bit more about this topic. And right now, if you have any questions, this is the best time to ask. You can either raise the hand or just unmute your mic or just write your question in the chat. Yes. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Victoria. Hold on.
Um,
Hi, Victoria.
yes. Hi, hello. Okay, perfect.
Thanks again for another really nice presentation.
Thank
My question is a bit, maybe a bit strange. I'm not quite sure, but so in terms of networking, as you already mentioned, there are quite a few ways to do it, right? So there's very traditional ways,
you.
in person, exchanging contacts and all that. Then there are like social networking ways. Uh, and you even kind of referred to it at the end of the presentation that you're going to provide like a very special guide for LinkedIn, and then you immediately said like, "Ooh, LinkedIn," like, "Ooh, artists don't like that," which I kind of agree. It is more of a corporate kind of platform, and then Instagram is a bit more like, yes, maybe that could be an artist thing, and then there's Facebook and then TikTok. But what I think is a pattern here is that it kind of looks like none of these platforms are truly for the arts.
Mhm.
So maybe my question is just more like a personal opinion on your side. Do you think that the art industry, whether it be visual arts or performing arts, does require a very dedicated platform for networking itself? It can be a social one, it can be, I don't know, any other kind, but it's purely and mainly just for the arts.
Mm. This is a very interesting question. And I personally believe that no, that's
Hmm.
because the thing is that you would still be only focused on the creative sector. If there is platform which is really dedicated for the creative sectors, then you would only find people there from the creative sectors. And I feel like this could be a bit counterproductive. So from one perspective, by losing potential clients, and because
Mm.
probably people from different sectors wouldn't be on that platform. And second thing, I don't think that it definitely it would have the vibrant perspective of the of creatives being there and of like the creative sharing. But I believe that the creative sharing is is not only for the creative industries, it's as well for the big for broad industries and or for other industries for I mean broader aspects and broader audience. And that's what I think that it would be missing. So as we can see, let's say right now what's happening on Pinterest or what's happening on or what used to happen on Instagram was that people found their their clients there, right? A lot of people on are coming to Pinterest. People who are not creative just to get ideas, right?
Mm.
On Twitch, if there would be only creatives, then those artists would not be able to monetize it, you know? So from that perspective, I believe that having something what's basically multi-purpose and you have different kind of audiences there, people from different backgrounds, is actually a very positive thing. And yeah,
Mm.
I think that art should be or creative industries in general should be part of professional networks because that's
Mm.
one of the things or that's one of the aspects creative industries often miss, and sometimes people do not perceive them as serious enough. That's how you can see as well the wage gap in the art
Mm.
industry, and a lot of artists are often asked to do things for promotion because you know some people are yeah there was this kind of stigma in just in society that you know art is a bit different, but by making sure that art is part of the professional networks and art is professionalized or creative industries are really professionalized and really pushed, this can really support to make this perception of the creative industries more equal.
Mm. So, okay, if that's
No, no, go
actually
ahead.
that's a really nice point. So, if I then use that point of argument, then wouldn't maybe perhaps, so for example, if I do not know anything about arts, right, and I'm a potential client because I'm looking for something to invest in, especially when it comes to a hobby or maybe even perhaps like a cultural event for my company or whatever, and I don't know where to start because I should I go to TikTok for dance? Should I go to LinkedIn for galleries? Should I go to Instagram for visual arts? Do I go to Pinterest for this and that? So there are all these kinds of networks, and none of them truly are dedicated to a specific genre of the arts. It's kind of shared by all arts. And at the same time, they're not necessarily a platform where you go, this is where all the professionals are using to state that this is their thing. This is my platform. This is our professional level, right? It's mostly a sharing platform. It's not really something that you use to say, okay, for example, this is where we're at. So then I don't know, could then yeah, let's say could an exclusive platform for the arts provide that professionalism, provide that sense of standard for clients who uh, are looking for the arts, and also something that would open the world to go like, okay, this is where you go. This is the only place you go for arts, and that's everything there. Yeah.
Mm. Well, this very tough question. I still think that no, because just giving you example, Behance, Behance
Yeah, Behance. Yeah.
or Deviant Art,
Yeah.
Deviant Art. I don't know if that one still exists. I know it used to be popular like 2015 or something. But those were the platforms which were more focused on the visual
Graphics. Yeah,
interface.
visuals and all that.
Yeah, so I'm specifically giving example for that one, but honestly, my personal experience was that people were not really active there.
Mm,
So that as well depends, like in this from this perspective, now we're getting into position of asking about or like more having this philosophical conversation about how people are actually able to use these platforms and to what
mm,
degree they are actually interested and willing. And
mm,
specifically, if I should give the maybe if I should compare the Behance to something, what's relevant right now is that on Behance there used to be a lot of visual artists, there used to be a lot of graphic designers, and a lot of these kind of people just switched to LinkedIn and Pinterest.
mm,
So I I personally believe that it's always changing. It's constantly changing. But yeah,
mm,
you never know what's
mm,
coming. You never know what's
mm,
coming, but um I don't know. It's just very tough question, right?
mm,
These
mm,
days, you have even creatives doing shows on OnlyFans because they just, made sure that or like wanted to monetize their music on this kind of platform. So it's
mm,
literally like what people make out of the platform.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the questions. Thank you so much to everyone who actually participated today. I know this was not maybe the best timing because it's just before the Easter, but definitely thank you so much to everyone who joined. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us, and we're going to share with you all the resources tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.